tipo 168. No vengan para acá. No vengan para acá. 168, Hondipo. 168, Hondipo. ¡Qué increíbilidad! 168, Hondipo. 168, Hondipo, Jamaica. 168, Hondipo. You see? A los ladrones no los agarran y pinga. You see? 168, Hondipo, Jamaica. No come over there. You see? You see?
Get up!
You see? 168 Jamaica, 168. You see? What? Ahora le digo yo, 168 Jamaica. 168.
One of the things that this proves and that this shows you is that ICE is not just running around here, you know, racially profiling people, just snatching up Latinos just because they're Latinos and questioning them just because when you're watching this video here of this guy, I mean, it's just me in my opinion, just my opinion. In my opinion, I'm not so sure that this guy's legal. I'm not so sure about that. Just off the strength that as far as his English is concerned, he couldn't get past UC. He was speaking Spanish the entire time. When he did speak English, you could hear the strong accent, but he couldn't get past saying, you see, you see, you see, you see. And if ICE was who they said they were, they would have snatched him up too, right? If ICE were these Gestapo and all this kind of stuff, they were racially profiling Hispanics the way that they said they were, they would have stopped him and say, wait a minute, man, why don't you put that phone down and show me your proof of citizenship? Where's your documentation at? Are you legal? And since you don't have documentation, because in this situation and scenario that ICE is in right now, right, there's reasonable suspicion. We're taking down all these guys here, you know, that we know are illegal. And now you're over here too as well. You got your camera out talking about, you see with strong accent. Matter of fact, run me your paperwork. Oh, you don't have paperwork? Well, now that gives me cause to detain you. And I'm going to take you with us. All right, down to the detention center where we're going to sort everything out and start processing folks and finding out who's who and what's what. If they were being reckless, like people said they were, they would have just snatched him up too. But they didn't. They dismissed him. They allowed this guy to record in Spanish with extremely limited English, where they could have probable cause in that particular situation that they're in, because they are already in the middle of an operation to say, hey, you're coming with us, but they didn't do it, right? They didn't do it. They just let the guy record. So once again, when it comes to all this stuff about like, oh my God, they're racially profiling people, they're not. They're not. I've seen plenty of illegal immigrant Europeans, illegal immigrant Africans and Caribbeans that have been arrested, detained, as well as deported, Arabs, so on and so forth. This is not something that's specifically and exclusively targeting Hispanics. Now, I don't want to belabor that point too much because I do want to pivot to this over here with Kristi Noem. Recently, she announced that for the holiday season, we all know that as it pertains to self-deportation, they were offering up basically a free ticket back to your country of origin, alongside with $1,000 stipend. I believe it's called a stipend. Well, they've upped it for the holiday season. You're still getting your free ticket home, but now it's $3,000 they will give you to leave, a $3,000 stipend. So all these guys that you see on the ground right now, handcuffed, they could have just self-deported, you know, and received about $3,000 to go home, but they chose not to do that. I know for a lot of you out there that are, you know, supporters of mass deportation, you know, some of you guys have been feeling away about the $1,000 stipend. Like, oh my God, they broke the law to get here. They crossed illegally. Now you're giving them money to go home. I want to address that. But first, let's hear what Kristi Noem had to say concerning that $3,000 stipend.
Well, it's home for the holidays season. So, you know, not only are we returning those kiddos back to their families that Biden lost, we also are saying that if you voluntarily want to go home now to your country, if you're in this United States of America illegally, we will give you $3,000 through the holidays to send you home. We'll buy you a ticket, give you $3,000 to go home, and that includes People that have not been detained, maybe have interacted with us, are detained and don't have criminal charges against them, yeah, raise your hand. We'll help you get home. We'll facilitate it, and you might get the chance to come back to this country the right way someday. If you wait until we interdict you and detain you and arrest you and have to deport you ourselves, you'll never get the chance to come back. So go on the CBP Home app and get the information, and we'll make sure you get home in time for Christmas.
Now, here's the thing, because like I said, I know a lot of people have a lot of different feelings, particularly those that are like myself, who are in strong support of mass deportation. Here's why I don't have an issue with this. I've never had a problem with the $1,000, you could say stipend. I feel like I'm saying that wrong, but with the $1,000 stipend, as well, now they raise it up to $3,000. I don't have an issue with that, because for those of you who don't know, which I'm sure most of you should know by now, it costs $17,000 like per illegal immigrant to remove them, right? For each operation that you see, when you see, matter of fact, if we go back to the clip that I just showed you, for I think there was about 5 or so illegal immigrants that were on the ground handcuffed. In between the moment of being handcuffed at Home Depot and detained and deportation, that was $17,000 for each one of them. Okay, that's how much that costs to deport each individual illegal immigrant that has been caught. So you're talking about spending $17,000 versus $3,000. So now going back to those 5 illegal immigrants that were detained handcuffed on the ground, from the moment of them being handcuffed to the time that they have been deported or will be deported, that is $85,000 versus $15,000 had they self-deported. $85,000 versus $15,000. And then you have to look at the long-term fiscal benefits as well, right? We all know that we're dealing with a housing crisis right now. Well, as far as that's concerned, now you're talking about one less person that's occupying housing, one less person that's on welfare, SNAP, EBT, getting free health care, you know, from states like California. That's one more job that's opened up. That's one more, I know I said home already, but I want to say it the way I meant to say it. That's one more home / and or apartment that's been freed up. So you have to think about the long-term fiscal benefits as well for the American citizens in real time concerning housing and jobs, as well as fiscally as it pertains to the government and how much money that's being put out towards EBT and welfare and things of that nature that's no longer being put out to service these individuals. As far as welfare, SNAP, EBT benefits, free healthcare, and things of that nature is concerned, you're looking at freeing up billions of dollars, if not trillions, throughout the course of a lifetime. Okay, throughout the course of a lifetime. That's what we're talking about here. So that's why I have no issue with this. $3,000 versus $17,000 is kind of a no-brainer. $3,000 versus over the course of a lifetime for that one individual, we're probably talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars, especially if they have children and things of that nature. It's a no-brainer. It's a win-win, you know, in my opinion. It's a win for the American taxpayer, and it's also a win for the illegal immigrant, because then you won't have to go out like this guy right here.
Ey, por favor, no sean así, hombre. Ey, no sean así, ¿por qué me van a coger así, por favor? No, ven, no me cojan así. No me cojan así, por favor. Yo no, ven. Venga, ¿yo qué? ¿Pero qué pasó? Venga, no me cojan así. Ya, no me cojan así, por favor. No me cojan así. ¿Por qué me cogen así? Por favor. Pues yo no he hecho nada. Ven, no me cojan así. Camine. Venga, no me cojan así. Ya voy a caminar. Okay, no me cojan así. Camina. Ya. Tenemos que ir a entrevistarte primero. Sí, espérate. No sean así, por favor. Ya no sean así, no me cojan. Así.
Señor, es el proceso, señor.
Sí, no me cojan así, ya.
Out the way.
Yo no me voy a burlar.
Amigo, ¿de dónde eres?
Like I said, it's a win-win for everybody, okay? For the American taxpayer, and it would have been a win for this guy too, because at the end of the day, he's going home regardless. Could have went home with $3,000 in his pocket.